Okay, we're back. So this is why I don't have this up. It's shit like that is the reason why I don't have Weeb TV up, because I just started the stream and I just see ass in my face. So we're gonna ignore Etchy. We're gonna ignore Etchy. I'm glad to be back here writing this script. We're gonna totally ignore that. All right. Anyways, I apologize for last night. I was pissed drunk. I still got a major hangover today, but we're gonna work on this. We're gonna do as much as I can. Unfortunately, I got a lot of stuff to take care of tomorrow, so I can't be up that late doing stuff. So ignoring the Etchy, we're gonna get right back to work. Let's do this. Every time. I knew it was gonna happen eventually. I was doing great. There was no Etchy shit in the background, but no, it just had to happen the second I load up the stream. I'm not editing that out. I'm just keeping it there. Okay, I introduced existential disorientation. I mentioned that before, so I think we should be good to go. Okay, where do I want to go about that? As usual, like I said, time and time again, do not drink unless you're an adult. This is just a Four Loko, just vanilla Four Loko. It's not gonna fuck me up. Okay, so I introduced existential disorientation. So the player loses faith not just in the game world, but in their own senses. So where do I want to go about this? 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 Okay, so where the player loses faith not in just the game world, but in their own senses. Like, where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? Have I been here before? I'm just using my own examples. Have I been here before? Is the space? It's a space. Space around me changing. It's like stuff like that. So the environment is gaslighting you. I can't believe I actually wrote that. The environment is gaslighting you, and you don't know how and why. This breakdown of spatial logic creates a new kind of dread, existential disorientation. So the player, which is you, loses faith not just in the game world, but in their own senses, such as where do I go? Have I been there before? Is the space around me changing? Okay. It's not. It's. It's not just about getting lost. It's not just about getting lost. It's about so player whoops so player is cut loose from cognitive, which is over here. Whenever you hear cognitive, just always assume it's gonna be talking about your brain. Oh, it's that anime. Wow, I really can't believe I loaded up the stream and we just had Etchy right from the get-go. That's a record. That is, it's a subtle build-up at times. Like back in the day, we would just be like chilling, just gaming, and out of nowhere, yo, there's some shit happening behind you. Then I turn around and you just have opies in your face. All right, besides that, so the player's cut loose from familiar cognitive anchors. Familiar cognitive anchors. I did thought when I came back home I'd have a little bit more time, but yeah, I had to do some homeowner stuff. I had to make sure my house was actually presentable. I'm like, yeah, things are getting out of hand, so I had to actually do like yard work today. So I'm like, all right, yep. I was too optimistic. I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna get a lot of YouTube lore done, then we all good. Gets a couple videos here done and good, but nope. Home ownership, it just came out of nowhere. I'm like, fuck, I guess I gotta do some work. The player's cut loose from familiar cognitive anchors. So, in a sense, there is no clear path forward. There's no clear path forward. No clues to follow. Let me start over from scratch. I didn't have a chance to actually review this last night, so I'm kind of curious about what I actually wrote in my very intoxicated self. So, all right, running is supposed to be a solution, a way out, but what happens when forward means nowhere at all? Okay. Horror games exploit our internal compasses. We as players rely on spatial logic, okay, left, right, back, forward, to make decisions and track escape routes. It's a subconscious trust that movement equals progress, all right? But in many horror games, this trust is the first to die. You think you're making headway, but you're not. Warping architecture, twisting hallways, mirrored rooms, and impossible angles strip away your navigational instincts. I was referencing Ocarina of Time. I definitely was. Okay. Environments that don't obey real-world logic provoke unease, but when you're being chased in them, they do something far worse. They unravel you. Okay. You hesitate. You retrace your steps. You enter the same room again. These situations can cause your mind to play tricks on you. Furniture placement may seem different. A hallway may seem longer. A door may seem to vanish. The environment is gaslighting you. Don't can't believe I wrote that. The environment is gaslighting you. You don't know what. You don't know how and why. This breakdown of spatial logic creates a new kind of dread, existential disorientation. The player loses faith not just in the game world, but their own senses. Whoops. Not just in the game world, but their own senses. Where do I go? Have I been here before? Is the space around me changing? It's not just about getting lost, it's about being unmoored. Player is cut loose from familiar cognitive anchors. There's no clear path forward, no clues to follow. Okay. Alright. This is interesting. Interesting. Okay. Movement, inward movement. Becomes meaningless. When movement becomes meaningless. Ceases. Running ceases to be an escape. Becomes a rant. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little descriptive here. Just give me a minute to think. I think aloud. Just don't worry about me yapping just to nothing. Becomes a frantic. Players cut loose from familiar cognitive anchors. There's no clear path forward, no clues to follow, and when movement becomes meaningless, running ceases to be an escape. It becomes a frantic gesture in a world that no longer responds. Okay, that's fine. I like that. This design. Yeah, it can. Psychological trauma. I mean, we talk about psychological trauma a lot here. I guarantee you, this is not the it's not the first time. It's not gonna be the last time. We gotta give an example of that though. So, survivors of intense fear. Okay, so let's yap real quick. Let's yap. So I don't know. I'm just gonna use myself as an example here. So, don't know if people have ever been through like very traumatic like situations. So, myself, obviously with my line of work, when I was away for that month of training, the vehicle I was driving caught on fire. It caught on fire while I was driving it. I still can't believe that was a thing. But when I was driving it, I became kind of frantic. I still was in control of the situation, but I did become kind of frantic. But things became a blur afterwards. I didn't remember like a good chunk of what happened. So it felt like time and space was just moving at its own pace, and I was off my own little world. Like my memories of the event are fragmented. So survivors of fear or traumatic events often do mention like they don't remember things that happened. Yeah, we can. Yeah, all right. I know what's right here. Okay, that works. But yeah, like if you ever been placed in a traumatic event, try to remember the things leading up to that event, the before and after, and then in the middle. You probably won't remember. Everything will be a blur because time and space just seems like it just moves at its own pace. Like the adrenaline rush is just hitting you. But yeah, my vehicle caught on fire. I'm like, bruh, it caught on fire. Then I was considered dead for 12 days. I'm like, holy shit. They left me alone in the desert for 12 days. I was surviving off MREs and water, and the crows were surrounding me on day 5, and I was kind of like panicking. I was reading books the entire time, but still, it's like I barely remember the events of that event. It was pretty bad because I'm like, shit, this vehicle is on fire right now. I'm kind of fucked. Especially since the hatch is very heavy to open up, so I'm like, you gotta think fast or else you kind of cooked, literally cooked. So back to this. So what do I want to write here? So survivors of intense fear, intense traumatic situations, actually. Survivors of intense traumatic situations often describe time and space being fragmented. They do not recall. They don't recall certain aspects of the traumatic event. So in a sense, no, fuck. Oh shit. In a way, directions seem to blur. The body acts for the mind. I got stories for days. I got a lot of traumatic events in my military life. Some funny and some like, oh shit, if I don't act quick, I'm literally cooked right now. But yeah, some of those events are just like, I remember bits and pieces, but the crucial moments where adrenaline kicks in, yeah, I don't remember shit. Body acts before the mind can catch up. Yep. The adrenaline rush. No, I don't even need to put that there. People would get the hint. So let me actually just read this. This kind of environmental design can mirror psychological trauma. Survivors of intense traumatic situations often describe time and space fragmented. All right, I need to view things from a different perspective here. Let's change the music. I need something happy-go-lucky. I swear to God, if it's some cringy shit, I'm just gonna... I won't be a happy camper, that's for sure. Let's see. Just give me one moment. All right, playlist, surprise me. Oh no, fuck that. Fuck it, we'll go back to that. I don't know what happened to this playlist, but there's some very toxic shit in the background. Why is there Monster Girl Quest music in the background? In that playlist, holy shit. Okay, forget that. So anyways, back to this. So the body acts before the mind can catch up. So okay, so the body acts before the mind can catch up. I have a lot of fun here. Let's just say that. I try to keep things. I try to keep things entertaining because I know these script writing streams may seem boring. Like, why the hell is this? Why does this random YouTube lore guy do script writing streams? Well, it's for verification purposes, so people can see I'm actually writing this from beginning to end. Because we live in a very weird world right now where you have to show the receipts. So here is my receipts. It takes long, but hell. There you guys go. But I try to keep things a little bit entertaining for the most part. Things happen that are beyond my control. Like the other day when Monster Girl Quest music started popping up, I'm like, oh my god. But hey, it is what it is. We have fun on this channel. So, the body acts before the mind can catch up. That's what horror games tap into. That's what horror games tap into such as disruption of time, space, and stability. Okay, sounds good. Let's look at the length. I mean, that's not that bad. The intro's almost it's a quarter of a page long. That's section 0 because that pretty much describes what running is. Okay. Okay, I think we can start wrapping up this section. I think I'll just have to read it over again just to be on the safe side. Okay, yeah, we can start. Let's start wrapping it up, then we'll do a transitionary portion into the next sentence. We haven't even gotten to the case studies yet. I know I'm kind of I'm not stalling for time. It's just I've just been busy, like literally just been busy for the past couple of days. I had 2 parties the other day, and I was intoxicated when I got back home last night. So that I'm surprised I even streamed. To be honest with you, I'm really surprised I've streamed. But yeah, just been a little bit too busy. I'll have a little bit more time this week before I head back, but we'll get as much done as we can. I did Golden Sun today. I've I'm like almost done with it. I'm like more than halfway done. So that is something that's gonna take a bit because I have to do a separate and Unity stuff, which takes forever to do. So that's gonna be done in the next couple of weeks. I just want to make sure that's gonna be perfect. Oh my fucking god! Like what? Like, all right, let me rewind this. Like, this is the shit I'm talking about. Like, well, I'll just be chilling, minding my own business, and some random ass lewd shit would just be happening in the background. So just pay attention for a second. I have no idea what's happening, but I just looked up and like, wait a minute, what the fuck is happening? Yep, like that. I'm like, whoa! God damn! Etchiness is getting out of hand, people. Okay, anyways, back to this. All right, so let's do a little build up to the transitionary sentence, then we can go on to the next section. And I'm pretty sure, let me work on my outline. Section 4 is when movement becomes ritual. Okay. All right. So, in a way, directions seem to blur. The body asks for the mind can hit jump. That's what horror games tap into. Disruption of time and space and stability. So and that effect is deeply personal. Probably not, but I'm just adding that for extra fluff. So the panic isn't coming from an enemy. Panic isn't coming from an enemy. Panic isn't coming from an enemy anymore. It's coming from our own disorientation. It's coming from the player's disorientation. It's coming from the player's own disorientation. Orientation. Okay, I cannot spell right now. There's no disorientation. All right, let me actually switch the music now. Just give me 1 second. Let's actually change this. It's a little bit too somber for my liking. Let's go to. Well, first of all, let's refresh this so there's no etchy ass content happening. Let's do some Resident Evil save room music. Let's go with I haven't heard PSX in a while. PSX Rebecca theme. Give me 1 minute. Rebecca theme extended. Rebecca's a good character. She gets a lot of shit extended. Okay, I actually can't remember the actual name of the song. Let's see. The one in HD remaster, I'm so mad that they sped it up for some weird reason. Like, Rebecca's theme is so good. Alright, so the panic doesn't come from the enemy anymore, it's come from the player's own disorientation. So, the realization... The realization that you are no longer navigating the space. The space is navigating you. As mentioned, unfortunately, I won't be doing a horror movie tie-in just because It's very unpredictable here. Things happen. Things that are out of my control, like random people yelling outside, and somehow, some way, I can hear them from all the way up here. I'm on the 3rd floor of my house. I don't know how I can hear them from all the way up here, but there's some shenanigans at play. The panic isn't coming from an enemy anymore. It's coming from the player's own disorientation. The realization that you're no longer navigating the space is navigating you. I should give a game example, but I'm not, because I don't want to take away from the case studies. The main focus of, besides this, is the case studies that we're going to get to eventually, which is Clock Tower 2, Resident Evil 0, and System Shock. So mentioning other stuff could take away from the appeal and the appeal of the other games. So I won't give an example here. I'm pretty sure people get where I'm getting at. Yeah, we won't do that. No. But fuck you into Temptation. Whatever's playing, I know the anime. It's an ecchi anime, but I hate it. I hate it so much because whenever I look up, I'm like, oh, there's some shenanigans happening. So the realization that you're no longer navigating the space is navigating you. So doors lead nowhere. It rarely happens. Doors lead to impossible areas. Doors lead to impossible locations. Sort of. Escape can become reclusive. Escape becomes reclusive. Escape becomes reclusive. And floor plans reshape. Doors lead to impossible locations. Floor plans reshape. Escape becomes reclusive, and running, your last remaining tool is stripped of purpose. Okay, Rebecca. I know it's literally like a couple of notes, but you've served your purpose. You use a good character. We'll go back to RE2. Wow. I totally butchered that one. Okay, I think we got something here. So let's read this over from scratch. So if I remember, all right. So this was losing control of the map. I think we've carried on. We've done enough about losing control of the map. But let's read it just to make sure everything's good to go. So running is supposed to be a solution, a way out. But what happens when forward means nowhere at all? Horror games exploit our internal compasses. We as players rely on spatial logic, left, right, back, forward, to make decisions and track escape routes. Yeesh. It's a subconscious thought. It's a subconscious trust that movement equals progress. But in many horror games, this trust is the first to die. You think you're making headway, but you're not. Warping architecture, twisting hallways, mirrored rooms, and impossible angles strip away your navigational instincts. Environments that don't obey real-world logic provoke unease, but when you're being chased in them, they do something far worse. They unravel you. You hesitate. You retrace your steps. You enter the same room again. These situations can cause your mind to play tricks on you. Furniture placement may seem different. A hallway may seem longer. A door may seem to vanish. The environment is gaslighting you. Oh my god, I can't believe I actually wrote that. But we're keeping it. The environment is gaslighting you, and you don't know how and why. This breakdown of spatial logic creates a new kind of dread, existential disorientation. I've talked about that in the past before. The player loses faith not just in the game world, but in their own senses. Where do I go? That just threw me so off. Wow, what a weird cut that was. Sorry. Players lose fate not just in the game world, but in their own senses. Where do I go? Have I been here before? Is the space around me changing? It's not just about getting lost, it's about being unmoored. The player is cut loose from familiar cognitive anchors. There's no clear path forward, no clues to follow, and when movement becomes meaningless, running ceases to be an escape. It becomes a frantic gesture in a world that no longer responds. Whoops. Always proofread your stuff, because you miss things like this. Wait, what? Oh, that deleted everything. Wow. It no longer responds. It becomes a frantic gesture in a world that no longer responds. This kind of environmental design can mirror psychological trauma. Survivors of intense traumatic situations often describe time and space fragmented. We can add being there. Just it sounds a little bit better. Okay, this kind of environmental design can mirror psychological trauma. Survivors of intense trauma situations. Trauma can work, but I don't want to repeat myself, but I'll have to. Yeah, we'll do it. Traumatic, and I forgot the I because I'm an idiot. Survivors of intense traumatic situations often describe time and space being fragmented. They do not recall certain aspects of the traumatic event. In a way, directions seem to blur. The body acts before the mind can catch up. That's what horror games tap into: disruption of time, space, and stability. And that effect is deeply personal. The panic isn't coming from the enemy anymore. It's coming from the player's own disorientation. The realization that you are no longer navigating the space. The space is navigating you. Doors lead to impossible locations. Floor plans reshape. Escape becomes reclusive. And running, your last remaining tool, is stripped of purpose. There is no destination. There is no orientation. There's no safety. You're not escaping the space anymore. You're becoming part of it. All right, I like the way this sounds. Definitely like the way this sounds. All right, what time is it? I think I streamed for like 30 something minutes. I'll start section 4, which is section 4 is run when movement becomes ritual. Okay, that's movement becomes ritual. Okay, that's not bad. Give me a second to think how I want to start this. When movement becomes ritual. 9:41. All right, it says currently 9:41. By 10 o'clock, I'll be done. I have to be up early tomorrow. Okay. I really can't believe as soon as I loaded up the stream, loot stuff popped up. I'm like, bruh, holy shit. Okay, so when running becomes ritual, when movement becomes ritual, actually. So we can talk about repetition, I guess. That can work. Okay. Again, as usual, I do YouTube for fun. I enjoy doing stuff like this. YouTube is a fun project for me to do that takes me away from military life, because military life can be very stressful. So might as well put my degree to work. So I enjoy writing these. I have a very extensive knowledge of lore in regards to a lot of things. 9 times out of 10, I'll probably know information about it. I lived a very weird life back in the day, as you can see from all this stuff I have back here. I'm like, I lived a very interesting life back in the day. But besides that, 9 times out of 10, I'll have lore information about like almost like any subject. And plus, I like to read regardless. If it's video games, anime, or just like any random like stuff, I'll probably have information about it. Like how we're doing a mythology tie-in when I eventually get there. Okay, but besides that, let's carry on. So I guess when movement becomes ritual, I guess we can talk about we can tie in repetition to that, I guess. I think that's the angle I was going with. Okay, yeah, we can do that. But anyways, as I mentioned, if anybody ever has requests, just let me know. I'll do whatever. Like a couple days ago, I woke up, got a comment. I got a comment. Do more Yume Neko. I'm like, okay, I was planning on doing more Yume Neko eventually. Might as well do it now. Requests take priority. This is not a request. This is just something I'm doing on the side. The current request I'm doing right now is the Yume Neko one in Golden Sun, which is a very long-term project that's not going to be done for a long time. It's the entire game. So yes, if you have a request, just let me know and I'll put it in the lineup. Right now, I don't have anything else to do besides the 3 projects I'm working on until they're done. So I need a new batch of stuff to do. All right, back to this. So repetition. If I can spell repetition, I cannot spell. Yeah, definitely cannot spell. Repetition, reception. Wow, thank you, word. Repetition is often mistaken for comfort. So, but in horror, repetition can become a cage. We'll have a little bit more structure when I go back to my duty station. Believe it or not, I really can't believe it. Like, our days start at 5:30 and we're done by 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm pretty much free. Like, I have more structure, even though I have less streaming time than right now. Like, I thought as soon as I got home I'll have more time, but no. Yeah, I gotta be a responsible adult. Repetition is often mistaken, but wait. It's often mistaken for comfort. I was supposed to put comfort there. Wow. But in horror, repetition becomes a cage. Repetition becomes a cage. And running can be... And running... Give me 1 second. Running becomes the ritual. Caps lock? Yeah, I did. This song's about to finish. So, okay. I feel like it's time to meme. Yeah, this is only like a 10-minute song. Give me a second. All right. Let's pray for RNG. Hopefully RNG gives me some good shit. And I'm gonna refresh this extended. Come on, RNG. Okay. All right. Fuck it. Let's go. I I can't keep a straight face right now. Let's go. It could be worse. It could be definitely worse. All right. Think of when you panic. Think of if you when. Think of if you. Think of what you happens when you panic. You retrace your steps. I retrace my steps. That's for sure. You. For God's sakes, never panic save. Please, never panic save, because you could end up screwing yourself over big time. There's been plenty of situations where I've soft locked because I panic saved. And this is ironic, this song's playing. Very ironic. I'm starting to believe I can't actually spell right now. I'm just thinking. Just give me a moment. Repetition is often mistaken for comfort, but in horror, repetition becomes a cage, and running becomes the ritual. Think of what happens when you panic. You retrace your steps, you check the same door, you hide in the same spot, you panic save. You start to believe that if you follow the same path, if you just keep moving, the fear will stay one step behind. I like it. I'm gonna say something so absurdly cringe right now. This fucking song, Luca wonders how the tentacle would feel. Thank you, Monster Girl Quest. Thank you. Thank you very much. The game had good plot. The game has plot. The game has fucking plot. Just don't die. Don't lose. For God's sakes, don't fucking lose. Let me read this again. Repetition is often mistaken for comfort, but in horror, repetition becomes a cage, and running becomes the ritual. Think of what happens when you panic. You retrace your steps, you check the same door, you hide in the same spot, you panic save. You start to believe that if you follow the same path, if you just keep moving, the fear will stay one step behind. Okay. Okay. I'm afraid to go on to the next song. I'm really afraid to go on to the next song. I'm very afraid to go into the next song. Oh my god, I'm so afraid. Horror games understand this instinct. Horror games understand this instinct. Okay, horror games understand this instinct. Okay, that works. I did a whole entire video on this, on stalkers. Wink, wink, wink. You should watch it. Horror games understand this instinct. That's why many of them are designed to force players into panic loops. It would be good if I didn't whip periods. Locked doors, low elevators, respawning enemies, stalkers. It push players into cycles of reaction. Not intention. All right, RNGesus, you've cucked me already. I swear to God. You know what? You know what? Fuck it. If I die, I die. And I died. Whatever. All right. I'm too old for this shit. Let's go. Let me read this. Repetition is often mistaken for comfort, but in horror, repetition becomes a cage, and running becomes the ritual. Think of what happens when you panic. You retrace your steps. You check the same door. You hide in the same spot. You panic save. You start to believe that if you follow the same path, if you just keep moving, the fear will stay one step behind. But it doesn't. It clings to the rhythm. It affects the loop. Horror games understand this instinct. That's why many of them are designed to force players into panic loops. Locked doors, slow elevators, respawning enemies, stalkers. They push players into cycles of reaction, not intention. Yeah, I like that. So, you don't plan. I sure the hell don't. You don't plan. You repeat. So in a sense, you're not navigating the world, you're circling it. You're not navigating the world. You circle it, so that's why many of them are designed to force players into panic loops, locked doors, slow elevators, respawning enemies, stalkers. They push players into cycles of reaction, not intention. You don't plan, you repeat. You're navigating the world. You're not navigating the world. You circle it. So. You run because it's all you... And eventually you stop running for survival. You run because it's all you know how to do. There's a lot of salts in this song right now. This is how movies just from agency to automation. So as usual, if I get up early, I'll get up early. When I get up, I'll get right to work. I'll probably do Battler first, then go back into this, go take care of my IRL stuff that I have to do. Then I'll work on Golden Sun a little bit so I can actually finish the audio up. Then we'll swap off between the two and continue on later tomorrow night. Let me see if RNG can give me one last boost. Probably not, since they're cooking us tonight with the music. They're giving us some high ass low. They're giving us some shit tonight. Some very very traumatic shit. I swear to God, if I get some diabolical shit, it's like, I'm done for the night. I'm gonna be done soon anyways, but I just give me something. Just RNG, just give me something. Why the fuck did I even try it? What the? All right, whatever. We're going. All right, fuck it. I'm gonna finish this last section, then I'm done for the night. God damn. This is what happens when you try to tempt fate. RNG is never in your favor. You run because all you know how to do. This is how movement shifts from HC to automation. Okay. It becomes behavioral conditioning in a sense. Conditioning. The player. Okay, so the player in a sense. Give me a second here. I gotta think about this. How can I? What can I do here? This is more for indie devs, because indie devs they know the tropes. They know the tropes, and I applaud them for that. They know how to exploit the tropes. not saying regular devs don't do this, but indie guys that love horror games, yeah, they've been killing it. They've certainly been killing it. So, give me an example of this. That door that was safe before is no longer safe. Rather, that door that was safe before, now it's locked. I can use Hell Hallway as an example too. I call the hallway after the L-shaped hallway in Remake as Hell Hallway because that hallway is scary. As the game progresses, as RE1 Remake progresses, that hallway is dangerous. You never want to take that. You never want to be in that hallway long, because it just to refresh people's memories. First of all, if you don't kill the zombie in the bathroom, he's just gonna bust out. That's one extra zombie in that hallway. That's one zombie in the hallway. Next, as you progress, zombies break through the windows, so you got multiple zombies in there. If you don't kill them, mind you, the game has crimson heads. All hell can break loose very fast. Like, pray to God you have enough kerosene to burn those zombies if you kill them, which is a bad mistake. And later on in Mansion 2, hunters are over there. So I dubbed that hallway Hell Hallway. That hallway sucks. Now it's locked. So I'm gonna use Hell Hallway as an example here. That hallway. Okay, let's read this. Repetition is often mistaken for comfort, but in horror, repetition becomes a cage. Let me actually put a comma there before I forget. But in horror, repetition becomes a cage, and running becomes a ritual. Think of what happens when you panic. You retrace your steps, you check the same door, you hide in the same spot, you panic save. You start to believe that if you follow the same path, if you just keep moving forward, the fear will stay one step behind, but it doesn't. It clings to the rhythm, it affects the loop. Horror games understand this instinct. That's why many of them are designed to force players into panic loops. Locked doors, slow elevators, respawning enemies, stalkers. They push players into cycles of reaction, not intention. You don't plan, you repeat. You're not navigating the world, you circle it, and eventually you stop running for survival. You run because it's all you know how to do. This is how movement shifts from agency to automation. The gameplay becomes behavioral conditioning. The player, in a sense, always proofread your stuff, people. This song. The player, in a sense, creates their own rituals. Run here, hide there, check again, repeat. Game developers exploit this, more so indie devs, but we're not going to add that. Game developers exploit this. They observe the patterns players form under stress and punish them for it. That door that was safe before, now it's locked. Wow. Jesus. I don't know what the hell is doing there. Now it's locked. The hallway used to buy time, now it's overrun by enemies. Okay. So again, we got a lot of work done. But besides me getting trolled by a playlist and etchiness in the background, we got a lot done. So as mentioned, I'll get up early. I'll do Battler first. I'll work out. I'll come back. I'll do this before lunchtime. Then I'll take care of my IRL shit. Then as soon as I'm back, we'll just carry on with it. I'll do a little bit of audio work on Golden Sun. Then we'll go on from there. Good stuff. And I'll see people tomorrow. Have a good one. And I'll see y'all later. Good night.